Continental Free Trade Area must be packaged and implemented to achieve this vision.
It's a breakaway from the past. That's President Buhari as he inaugurates Committee on Nigeria's Readiness for Continental Free Trade Agreement. Correspondent reports that calm is returning. Fresh crisis breaks in the National Insurance Health Scheme. Good evening and thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. I am Kene Emma Abodike. Reading with me tonight is Ogochukwu Chukwuka in Benin and Dr. Nogunyemi in Lagos. President Muhammadu Buhari says past practices of committing Nigeria to international treaties without a definite implementation plan to actualize the expected benefits and risk mitigation strategies are no longer acceptable. This was while inaugurating a presidential committee to assess the impact and readiness of the country for the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The president said under his watch, Nigeria cannot sign agreements unless their consequences are properly understood and carefully planned for so that the country will not be worse off. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
Before this inaugural ceremony of the Presidential Committee, a nationwide stakeholder engagement has been undertaken at the instance of President Muhammadu Buhari to understand the true impact of the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement on Nigeria and Nigerians. The committee, whose membership is drawn from the various sectors of the economy, is therefore to analyze issues raised during the consultations as well as develop short, medium, and long-term measures that will address challenges arising therefrom.
For us in Nigeria, our vision for intra-African trade is for the free movement of made-in-Africa goods. This means the goods and services must have significant African content in terms of raw materials and value addition to the production and service processes. Therefore, the Continental Free Trade Area must be packaged and implemented to achieve this vision. This is the only way the majority of Africans will positively benefit from it.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as worrisome that despite being the largest economy in Africa, Nigeria has not been able to domesticate the production of its most basic requirements, thereby over-depending on external factors, which resulted in the recent recession as well as security, unemployment, and corruption challenges.
For too long, our domestic productive capabilities were neglected in favor of imports. Nigeria was using its hard-earned oil revenues to create jobs offshore instead of developing the manufacturing potential of our very vibrant, young, and dynamic population.
The president, however, said as Nigeria aspires to self-sufficiency by looking inwards through various reform initiatives, including the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, the government has not lost sight of regional trends, especially on trade, where global dynamics are shifting and changing at a rapid rate.
The benefits of these reforms are being felt as our economic policies are creating meaningful jobs for our young population, assuring national food security and improving the competitiveness of our economy to position export trade as an engine for economic growth.
The committee, co-chaired by the Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, has 12 weeks to come up with a clear roadmap for Nigeria as it relates to the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
Terms of reference are assess the potential costs and impact of the AFCFTA for Nigeria in relation to the benefits, review the trade remedy options to safeguard the Nigerian economy from predatory and unfair trade practices.
49 countries have so far signed the agreement, an ambitious venture aspiring to create a single African market. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says government is putting in place strategies to mitigate the effect of poverty on the growing population of Nigeria. He was speaking at the opening of the 24th edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja, where economic players converged to brainstorm on how to improve the economic prosperity of Nigerians. Leah Katung Babatunde reports.
Nigeria's population is estimated to rise to the third spot globally by the year 2050. The population growth is put in an average of 3% annually, but that of the economy is growing at an average of 1% since it came out of recession. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says 102 million Nigerians are currently in the poverty region, a situation government seeks to address by taking on corruption headlong.
The greatest challenge through the years has been governance and institutional weaknesses, systemic corruption, integrity and inefficiency in our public service, and the administration of justice system. We've taken a strong stand on corruption, especially grant corruption, but there's still a long way to go. Cleaning up systemic corruption is, as you can imagine and as you know, a difficult task. By its very nature, systemic corruption always fights back, using the very institutions that are to be reformed.
Vice President Osinbajo said government is vigorously pursuing improvement in human capital as well as investments in health, but is concerned over the revenue of the subnationals.
This year alone, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund contributed an additional 55 billion to health financing. The real issue is that we must increase the aggregate national health expenditure. In 2017, the health budget of all of the 36 states was a little over 332 billion naira, which is about 4.9% of the total budget size. This year, only Bauchi State has met the 15% target of the Abuja conference.
It is our expectation that the deliberations that will follow will come up with useful recommendations to how to enrich service delivery. Our plan is clear, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, but we can always improve the delivery of that plan.
Lead presenter at the opening session, Professor Peter Lewis, draws his comparison of Nigeria's performance with Indonesia, suggesting a whole new approach to good governance.
Whether that leadership comes from a strong and committed executive or a forward-looking governing party, political guidance is an important element in managing economic change.
Every child from the age of 5 must go to school, and they must be able to remain in school for as long and as far as their abilities propel them.
The 2018 summit tagged poverty to prosperity, making governance and institutions work, has 5 pillars: human development, sustainable economic opportunities, participation and citizens' rights, effective public institutions, as well as corruption and rule of law. In Abuja, I'm Leah Kating Babatunde, NTA News.
Nigeria issues first gold refining license as stock market starts the week on positive momentum. Moblanc Dakok has these and more on Business News.
Hello and thank you for joining us. The Nigerian government has issued the first gold refining license to improve the country's economy. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udoma, who made this known at the 24th Economic Summit, said the federal government is finalizing modalities to purchase gold from local refiners via a federal gold reserve scheme. As the Nigerian government strives to harness the wealth of the country to deliver sustained growth to create jobs and economic opportunity, private sector players say government must drive social inclusion to ensure good governance and strong institutions.
Make sure that our institutions work, the governance procedures, governance also work, and call out corruption the way it is.
We're happy to say that the strategy document program of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation is part and parcel of the National Strategy on Public Service Reforms. We are hoping that it will be approved soonest.
The Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index inched up by 0.37% to begin this week. The All-Share Index and market capitalization gained to close at 12.03 trillion naira. Transaction in the shares of Guarantee, Diamond Bank, and UACN topped the activity chart, while Unilever, Custodian, and Union DAC recorded the highest price gain. That's business news. Thank you for watching. I am Muplang Dakok.
Now, to ensure ease of doing business in Plateau State, small business owners have been encouraged to take advantage of the state government's interventions. This came to fore at the inauguration of Governor Simon Lalong Empowerment Scheme (SLEM), organized by the Plateau State Microfinance, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, PLASMEDA. Rainrate Sylvanus Lord reports.
Years, attention is shifting to other areas of improving the economy of the nation, and skills development is one of such areas. In this regard, the Simon Lalong Empowerment Scheme has been inaugurated as a medium to empower the youth and women, thereby drastically reducing poverty in Plateau State. Launched in 2017, the program is structured into phases, training in areas of tailoring, welding, plumbing, with over 10,000 youth and women trained.
Let me therefore admonish the youth to embrace skills acquisition wherever such opportunities come their way. Skill acquisition is a potent weapon to fight the scourge of blending poverty and unemployment bedeviling the country today.
Jerry Malo and Abigail Moses are beneficiaries of this scheme, which won the state Best Small and Medium Enterprise Awards in Nigeria recently.
After what you do, and never give up. You will come across so many challenges. I'm encouraging you to keep finding ways out for them.
You are God sent. You have changed my life because I was so poor until this intervention came.
The state government under PLASMEDA is partnering with the ITF, GIZ, and Central Bank to train and start up small businesses for the trainees. This is the third phase of training. In Jos, Rainrate Sylvanus Lot, NTA News.
Kaduna Metropolis and environs are now calm, with residents observing 24-hour curfew. Mohammed Umar Ajingi has the situation report.
Business activities paralyzed, strategic places known with huge traffic flows deserted, as residents stay at home hoping for the review of the 24 hours curfew. Security personnel keep vigil at strategic locations to avoid further breakdown of law and order. The good news is that everywhere is calm, as the governor went round to commiserate with the people at Bakirwa Junction, Sabantisha and Kujama, where the crisis was alleged to have erupted, triggering sense of anxiety and rumor to separate violence to some flashpoints in the metropolis. The governor urged residents to uphold harmony in their communities and cooperate with security agencies to keep the peace. Meanwhile, the general officer commanding one division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Muhammad, has led a high-powered army personnel on an assessment visit to crisis-affected areas in Kaduna metropolis. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
At the meantime, the management of National Youth Service Corps has advised all 2018 Batch C prospective Corps members deployed to Kaduna State that the commencement of the orientation course earlier scheduled for Tuesday, 23rd October 2018 has been suspended till further notice. This is due to the current security situation and consequent curfew imposed by the state government. After the relative calm at the National Health Insurance Scheme, the announced suspension of the Executive Secretary, Professor Usman Yusuf, is beginning to brew another crisis. Emmanuel Ayimiro has the details.
Council of the NHIS last Thursday announced the suspension of the Executive Secretary, Professor Usman Yusuf. This development again poses questions over the situation at the NHIS, which is said to have been divided into pro and anti-board and the executive secretary. Labor unions in the agency this Monday attempted to prevent the executive secretary from gaining access to his office.
He said it is only the president that can remove him, but the council is not removing him. The council is not usurping the power of the president. The council is only suspending him, and the council reserved that right as contained in the act.
The council members are appointees of Mr. President. The executive secretary is also appointee of Mr. President. So by virtue of the act, it's express. There is no power conferred on council.
NTA crew on ground to cover the protest was assaulted by some members of the unions who damaged the NTA camera. Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
Time to pause for some messages. Do stay tuned.
Okay, how is Atlanta? I'm just getting ready for a photo shoot. Got my makeup on.
Hey Klaus, how you doing? How is Germany?
Hold on, 1 minute.
I haven't seen the containers yet. Oh, they are still in India.
Hello, Mama. Guess who's online?
Hey Rajesh, what time is it in India?
How is South Africa, Mama?
Aren't you spending too much on calls now?
Don't you worry about it, Mama, because with Glow, you only need to pay 200 Naira a month and you get up to 85% discount on all calls to over 200 international destinations.
See, I'm going to let you guys sort this out.
Right? Time for the photo shoot. Love you. Bye.
Where's the photographer?
Hey, my friend. How are things going in Canada?
Glow International Call Slasher. Pay 200 Naira monthly fee to get up to 85% discount to call over 200 international destinations. Dial *777# to choose your plan. The largest data network. Glow. Grandmasters of data.
Okay, since when I said something and I just a call. I don't get one new way. We will take get plenty customers. Quick teller pay points. Hey. How that one take help my business? We be quick teller pay points agents. People go they touch lights here. We pass our competitors. So now here they go pay all them bills. Yes. Okay, make I tell you. You see this your boy? It get sense where. Apart from say customers go enter your chain, he go put more money for your pocket. Go arrange quick teller pay points fast. Now.
Quick teller pay point. Now in paper.
Your detergent and with new look Ariel.
Ariel, now in a new look pack.
Hello.
Hi, Jenny.
Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello?
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny, Auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want,
hurry up.
Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello?
The number cannot be reached.
Clean that up.
Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me.
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria. Financing sustainable growth.
But the excitement is still on. Draw what you did in your holidays, and you stand a chance to win your dream holiday. Follow 3 simple steps to enter. Step 1, draw your holiday experience. Step 2, snap a picture. Step 3, send picture, name and address to the WhatsApp number 0902 588 8888. Hurry! Go grab your Indomie packs now. Offer valid till stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie noodles. Tasty nutrition. Good for you.
The general public, particularly UBE stakeholders, are hereby informed of the ongoing nationwide mop-up exercise of the 2018 UBE National Personnel Audit. The mop-up exercise targets private, public, faith-based schools, schools operated by military and paramilitary agencies, and non-formal basic education institutions that were not covered in the May-June personnel audit activity. All stakeholders are requested to accord field officers every necessary support for the success of the exercise, which ends on October 24th, 2018. Dr. Hamid Boboyi announced.
Every new day deserves a great taste for a great start with Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with a Nescafe.
Me got the sunshine in my life. Oh mama, I told you everything gonna be fine. Oh mama, dear mama, oh yeah.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the former Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters, late General Tunde Ediabon, as a rare example of loyalty to fatherland. He said this while receiving the governorship candidates and aspirants, as well as other stakeholders of the APC in Kwara State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The stakeholders of the governing APC from the three senatorial zones of Kwara State, led by Information Minister Lai Mohammed, were in the State House to reassure President Muhammadu Buhari of their resolve to continuously support the party, regardless of the outcome of the last party primaries. The president, who thanked his guest for the position taken, said with this sense of unity being displayed and loyalty to the party, APC is on the path to forming government in Kwara State in 2019. And talking about loyalty, President Buhari said the late Tunde Ediabon was strong, loyal, and extremely committed to the cause of positively changing the narrative about Nigeria, which their government set out to do at that time. He recalled how his former deputy from Kwara, while on pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia when the administration was overthrown in 1985, insisted on returning to Nigeria despite the political uncertainty. The late Ediabon, the president said, rejected the offer from the King of Saudi Arabia to remain in the kingdom with his family members, especially when he learned that his commander-in-chief had not been killed in the takeover. He eventually returned to Nigeria to suffer arrest like he did. President Buhari enjoined Nigerians to remain faithful and loyal to the country in all their dealings, whether in uniform or not, saying they have no other country but Nigeria, which must be salvaged together. After the interactive session held behind closed doors, APC National Chairman Adams Oshomole and the governorship candidate told journalists that the meeting was fruitful.
I'm very encouraged by the general spirit of all those who are involved in this exercise. And we are very hopeful that come February next year, our candidate will be the next governor. And we also believe that we'll be able to produce all the senators and all the House of Reps in Kwara, and of course the House of Assembly. What we need is what we have. The morale is very strong, the grassroots support is overwhelming, and the determination of the party leaders. I mean, everybody is hungry for change in Kwara, and that we will provide the leadership to ensure that it is accomplished.
Having gone through a very competitive process of primaries, we went through the direct primaries in which about 100,000 party faithfuls voted. We had our difficulties, but we've come to Mr. President to tell him that all is well. We're in unison, and he has given us marching orders to go and take Kwara. We're looking at Government House.
Mr. Oshomole used the opportunity to react to media reports regarding purported plans to remove him from office.
I cannot watch people who have power try to suppress those who are powerless. Somehow, it has been my lot to be on the side of the oppressed. My job is simply well cut out for me to ensure that we uphold the written rule of our party, the written rule of the Electoral Act, and the spirit of progressive politics. And I think that I can say comfortably about 90% of APC membership are happy.
President Buhari's strategic engagements with stakeholders ahead of the next general elections continued. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, will continue to beef up its operations to become a regional asset in legislative capacity building in Africa. Senate President Bukola Saraki gave this indication at the second NILDS University of Benin convocation ceremony in Abuja. John Yaku has details.
Established to train legislative staff for effective legislation, the institute has produced another batch of 77 master's graduates to serve the nation. Senate President and Speaker, House of Representatives, are proud of the institute for training legislative staff who are already impacting positively on the quality of legislation in Nigeria and Africa.
A strong legislation needs highly professional and qualified staff whose loyalty is to the parliamentary institution.
I urge the two institutions to grow this relationship into wider scopes so that they can further impact the development of the legislative arm and the country.
Minister of Education thanked the National Assembly and the Institute for their foresight in educational development.
NILDS is living up to its responsibility.
In his convocation lecture, Governor Waziri Tambuwa described the legislature as the building block of democracy.
The test of the superiority of democracy is in its capacity to provide good governance.
Citizens in Nigeria and across 35 countries in Africa continue to value democracy.
Out of the 77 graduates, 33 are masters in legislative studies, 9 in legislative drafting, and 13 in parliamentary administration.
This is my own part of career development.
It has deepened my legislative reservoir.
I feel great today.
Focus, grace of God.
The first convocation of the institute was held in November 2016 with 100 graduates. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
Now, about 10,000 people across Nigeria are in Port Harcourt as cultural ambassadors ahead of the 31st National Festival of Arts and Culture, which kicks off tomorrow. Already, issues of Nigeria's unity and the diversity of its culture are discussed. Hamisu Rogo in Port Harcourt has a situation report.
Port Harcourt is at it again. For the next 1 week, it will play host to what Nigeria has to offer in arts, culture, and tourism. It is the 31st Festival of Arts and Culture, and the town is set. The streets are busy. Posters of the oncoming festival adorn major streets. Many of the centers of the festival are shaped to be just right. One of them is Obeyuali Cultural Center. It was made rich by security presence, clean to be accommodating, and busy with the arriving artists. In the meantime, Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Olusegun Ranshowe, is linking up with the major cultural and tourism stakeholders in Rivers to drum up support for the success of the festival.
NAFES started immediately after the Civil War. Exactly. In 1970. Yes. The leaders then said, what can unite us back? And they took NAFES, and that's why we call it the festival that unites the nation. The reason why you hear 8 speeches fighting ourselves is because we don't respect each other's culture. If we do, we don't need to fight.
Ronsewe was actually a guest to Chief Mike Amakri, who runs a cultural center and was into tourism for over 50 years. Together, they discussed the unified role of culture and arts, especially at this time when a section of the Nigerian class exploit differences to attain a certain end. In Port Harcourt, River State, Mohammed Hamis Rogo, NTA News.
I'm being joined now by the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Olusegun Runshowe. Good evening to you there. NAFEST was set up in 1970 after the Civil War to foster unity and integration among the various sections of Nigeria. Now tell us, how far has it achieved that?
Well, thank you very much. I must tell you first and foremost that this is one festival that is supposed to unite us as a people. But for a very long time, we've taken the aspect of dancing, celebrating, which we left the content of the real issue of coming together as a people to appreciate each other's culture. If you remember, in the late 70s, two major components happens in this great country. National Sports Festival, which is for the sporting community, and the National Arts and Craft, which is bringing together our people in terms of creating jobs, reducing poverty, and coming together to understand each other. But for a very long time, you can hear the matter of hate speeches, disagreeing with ourselves for no reason. So this festival is actually to unite us as a people, rebrand our thinking, our character as a people, coming together to respect each other's value, which is a character we've been able to build over the years. But there was a disconnection, which of course, my office right now, we're coming back together to unite us as a people. The stronger we are, the better to speak for our great country. So.
All right, Otumba, the theme for this year's festival is Our Culture, Our Heritage. What's the significance of this?
We have to appreciate one fact. Our culture is our pride. Our heritage, our music, our dance, our food, it's all about our cultural values. If we appreciate the cultural values coming together as a people, then we have less of conflicts, disagreement, and not appreciating each other as a people. For instance, I saw a northerner in Parakot yesterday who said to me he has found a home in Parakot. That is the spirit of a Nigeria. We must come together and believe. So that's why we said our festival is our heritage.
So why Port Harcourt as the host for this year?
Well, we normally open it up. We move NAFEST from one state to the other. But we got a pleasant surprise from His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, who said he wants to bring a new thinking for our cultural values. And honestly, I'm extremely, very, very impressed with the quality of jobs, infrastructure that is here in Rivers State. Very great, hospitable people. They receive us with all arms open. All the infrastructure and facilities are of high standard. And I must mention, the best cultural center in the history of this country is in Port Harcourt. So any government, any governor that said they want to come to celebrate NAFEST with us, we move it to that state. We are talking to 3 states now, and we hope by next week we make it public where we are going next year, 2019.
We wish all of us good luck on the project. Thanks indeed. That was Director General of National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Olusegun Runshowe. Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has stated his confidence that Nigerians have demonstrated enough courage and confidence in the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, hence their determination not to return to the past system of government where public office holders looted the nation's treasury with impunity. The minister stated this in London shortly after his engagements with the media and think tank organization on global affairs. Anthony Forson tells us more.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, has been in London engaging media organizations and some key institutions whose interest in African nation is to provide the right path to sustainable growth, development and good governance. And as the country gears up for the 2019 election, what is the place for corrupt people who have secured party tickets? The minister was asked. This was his response.
Every time I spoke about how we had waged war against corruption, journalists will ask me, how can you claim to have succeeded in waging war against corruption when one of the major contestants in the 2019 election is actually a man with stupendous wealth who cannot explain the source of his wealth? And I think you really have succeeded in fighting corruption. And that baffles me in a way because it means that we are still being perceived as a corrupt country or a country where corruption, thrives.
The minister's mission in London is to tell the Nigerian story from the Nigerian perspective, as against those being told by people he described as naysayers who are bent on pulling down the government.
This government has actually affected the fortunes adversely of many people who are simply parasites.
The minister summed his visit this way.
We were able to tell the whole world that we do not need to do anything extra because we have delivered on all our promises, and that Nigerians are quite happy and satisfied with the powers of this government.
Lai Mohammed has rounded off his visit in London. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Director General of the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Moje Christiana Adeyeye, has urged members of the public to be vigilant on where and how they purchase medicines. NAFDAC officials, she says, are combing the market, drug outlets and entry points against infiltrations. This is against the backdrop of recent alerts on some Chinese drugs with human flesh in circulation. She was speaking with health correspondent Rabi Abdallah.
I don't think it's in the country, but because they are supposed, they will come in small packages. We don't know whether they even came through personal luggage. We don't know, but it's not going to be something that is going to be so widely distributed around the country because of the volume that they refer to. That doesn't mean it's not important. It is our concern to be sure that if they come in, hopefully they are not, to sensitize the population that if something smells and they say that it can cure everything, then you have to be suspicious. Right now we don't know because it doesn't even have a name.
Similarly, President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Ibrahim Ahmed Yakasai, calls for the implementation of the drugs policy as it would promote local production and reduce dependence on importation. More reports with Dotun in our Lagos studios.
Thank you, Kenneth, and welcome to Lagos. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned the immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, on an 11-count charge of alleged money laundering, criminal breach of trust, and misappropriation of funds. Abolore Ogbara reports on the court proceedings.
The immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, who appeared before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, was charged for taking possession of the sum of 1,219 million naira to fund his 2014 gubernatorial campaign in Ekiti State on 17th June 2014. The court says the alleged stolen fund formed part of proceeds of corruption This offense is contrary to Section 15, subsection 2D of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended, which is punishable under Section 15, subsection 3 and 4 of the same act. The defendants pleaded not guilty of all the 11-count charge. The counsel of the accused person, Kanu Agabi, however, made the application for bail, but the prosecutor of EFCC, Rotimi Oyedepo, requested that the accused be remanded in custody. Justice Mojisola Olatorego thereby remanded the defendant in the EFCC custody pending bail application and for further hearing on Wednesday, the 24th of October in Lagos. Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has charged the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, Petroleum Tanker Drivers Section, to continuously engage its members in rigorous traffic trainings to avoid frequent accidents on the highway. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi, who declared open a one-day training session for drivers, said such trainings would minimize accidents involving tankers on the roads. Ime Udori was there.
In 2016, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, recorded an increased number of road crashes involving heavy-duty trucks and petroleum tankers across the country. This development led to a series of consultations by stakeholders to reduce such accidents that constantly claimed lives and property. One of the strategies adopted was the training of petroleum tanker drivers. The Corps Marshal FRSC, Boboye Oyeyemi, said the effort in the last 4 years is yielding results.
We have recorded 196 this year, and if you look at the economic value, that's about 9.8 billion loss involving tankers alone, excluding the cost of other vehicles, lives, damage to the environment and to the road. So we still need to do more work.
This training program is also to address salient areas that can assist in checking the excesses of tanker drivers in relation to health, attitude behind the wheels, and roadworthiness of tankers. The National Safety Training Program for all petroleum tanker drivers on steering is part of an MOU signed between the FRSC and Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union.
A training like this is taking place today, to ensure safety, in our roads.
We want zero tolerance for accident of tanker in this country.
A total of 61 petroleum tanker drivers have been expelled for criminal activities by the union.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
These are exciting times for broadcasting in Africa. Digital switchover is sweeping the continent. The content revolution is booming. Technology is evolving at the speed of light, and Africa is ready for business. The National Broadcasting Commission is set to host the 12th Biennial International Conference, an exhibition of Africa broadcasters. Africast 2018 in Abuja, Nigeria. Participants will experience 3 days of world-class exposition, showcasing the very best in creativity, innovation, and technological advancements in global broadcast and media ecosystem. Theme: the dynamics of broadcasting in the digital era. Date: Tuesday 23rd to Thursday 25th October 2018. Venue: Abuja Sheraton Hotels and Towers. Time: 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Register today to experience Africast 2018. You will be glad that you did. For inquiries, email africastabuja@nbc.gov.ng. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Management announcer.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer they oppress student them. Bus driver they show passenger where. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire or work for a better nation. We must continue to push and believe, and small, our prayers will be answered. This education you go get down. These children, them go grow and prosper. And this business, it not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank, understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we go clear every doubt when they are away. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Want to know what's coming, guys? The free beach ball! I guess I'd better start again. Oh, here we go, everybody. Free beach ball! Yes, guys, there's a free beach ball in every carton of Capri Sun. Get a carton, get a ball. It's time to play some more. Way!
Capri Sun, the taste of fun. House of Cheese.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever.
Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available in syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy living.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You're still watching NTA Network News. With 350 million tons of solid waste generated annually, Nigeria requires about 650 billion naira to properly manage its waste every year. This came to the fore at the 2018 Urban October celebration commemorating this year's Habitats Day. Mohammed Hamza Sheikh reports.
Urban October, as it is christened by the United Nations Habitat, is a month-long period of activities aimed at creating awareness, generating knowledge, promoting participation, and engaging the international community on sustainable urban development. Every year, Nigeria loses more than 100 billion naira to disasters, many of them caused by human activities. Stakeholders at the occasion who identify this as one of the major impediments to sustainable development in Nigeria say there must be attitudinal change towards waste management. They advocate for collaboration and innovation in tackling the menace of solid waste management.
would be pushed into poverty. Coming together is to analyze these issues and propose the way forward to urban sustainability.
All citizens in the Federal Capital Territory enjoy the facilities that are being provided by the government.
The World Habitat Day is globally commemorated on the first Monday of October every year in accordance with the United Nations Resolution of 1985. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
It's another time for Nigerian children to explore and exhibit their ingenuity in technological advancement at the NTA Children's Expo 2018. Joseph Johnson reports that this year's event has as its theme, Achieving Self-Sufficiency in Agriculture.
Shamsuddin Jibril from Sadauna Memorial College, Kaduna, showcasing his project at the annual event NTA's Children Expo, where technological ideas are creatively engineered by these young ones to solve problems. This time, the focus is on agriculture. The 12-year-old from junior category says his mini agro quadcopter has the potential to ease the stress farmers encounter.
Government, there's kidnappers that are kidnapping people. They cannot go farm. They are afraid of those kidnappers. Maybe they are fighting. They are going to kidnap them. That is why the farmers now, they are not going to their farm. That is why I say I'm going to embed this in order to help farmers for monitoring their farms, in order to scale their farms. That is it.
Like Shamsuddin, all the participants from across the country in the junior and senior categories have invention that they believe will solve some of Nigeria's problems in the chosen themes, and were successful at the state's competition, which was held across all NTA stations.
Is moving to a technology age, and as NTA we are charting the course, and as an early age we want to bring up children to be first creative and help to take Nigeria to the next level.
For 4 days, Shamsuddin and the other inventors will have their works subjected to tests by team of judges for the NTA Expo 2018, which has been a major national event for the young ones to showcase their talents and possibly have the startup they require to excel. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thank you, Joseph. It's time now to join Ogo Chukwuka in Benin for some stories.
And welcome to Benin. Members of the House of Representatives Committee on Water Resources say they will synergize with relevant agencies to reposition river basins across the country and ensure the training of youths on modern farming practice for food sufficiency. This was at an oversight assessment tour of the headquarters of the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority. River basins are established to undertake comprehensive development of both surface and underground water resources for multi-purpose use, with particular emphasis on the provision of irrigation infrastructure and the control of flood and erosion and watershed management. Inspecting the piggery, fishery and other sections of the 60 hectares integrated farm at Obayanto in the Bobaka local government area, members of the committee say they will ensure that funds are effectively utilized to achieve this mandate.
The idea is actually to train the youth on modern farming practices. This is to ensure that you're able to manage the little quantity of water available to the maximum use.
Already we are in discussion with the Edo State government for 150 youths who recently returned from Libya to be able to escalate this model, to training them in various agricultural practices.
The lawmakers also inspected the center pivot system meant to power the 45 hectares vegetable farmland at Ikboke community in Ego local government council and the small-scale water project at the federal government girls college in Benin. Nationwide tour is to ascertain and access river basins, dams and reservoir projects across the country. And five convicts across prisons in Delta State have been recommended for presidential pardon. This is the outcome of the visits of the Presidential Committee on Prerogative of Mercy to the state. Rosemary Omani has details.
Members of the committee moved to Ogwashuku prison, where 5 convicts from various prisons in the state were recommended to be beneficiaries of the prerogative of mercy. The vice chairman of the committee, who is also the permanent secretary, Special Duties Office of the Secretary General of the Federation, William Alo, charged the convicts to turn a new leaf after their freedom.
It's a part of our function, in our mandate, that we should visit all the prisons, formations in Nigeria, in the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja, and look at cases of people involved in federal offenses and recommend to Mr. President for a pardon where necessary.
The committee, chaired by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, has since proceeded to Rivers State to continue the exercise. From Ogwashuku, I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Kenneth, it's back to you.
Thank you, our goal. Another break beckons. Do stay with us.
NTA Tuesday Live this week focuses on the Independent National Electoral Commission budgeting for the 2019 election. What are the matters arising? NTA Tuesday Live promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Your favorite Maggi star now wears a new look. Its great taste and quality still remain the same. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
The tastiest blue band with vitamins A, D, E, B6, B12, folic acid, and niacin. So important for kids' growth and development.
You can tell they're from a Blue Band home.
Spread every slice and give your kids the vitamins they need.
The death has been announced of an erudite